Hi, I'm Ruth Williamson with 1 Million Cups Sherman, and we're here on May 9th, 2018. We meet every week at 8:30 to network a little bit, and by 9 we start our meeting. We have 2 presenters or 1 presenter each week. This week we have 1. So we're excited to be here and have all our 1 Million Cups members. If you will, just text 164-653 to that number so that they can count our attendance, and then we'll move on with the meeting. You can also check in on the app. So there's a 1 Million Cups app. If you'll download it and pick 1 Million Cups Sherman and follow us, you can also check in on the app. So I'll leave that there. Our sponsors are Douglas Distributing, Brad Douglas, Ideation Station, that's me, Beam Me Up, provides us our coffee, and TechWave, our technology, and that's JJ McGrath. And this is more about 1 Million Cups.
I have to adjust the TV for you.
On here?
Yeah, I may have to. I don't know what it was set to.
That's entertaining, isn't it?
Yes, it is very entertaining.
Probably should have preloaded it.
It's cable one for you, I guess. It's got internet access because it downloaded all my emails and grabbed all the slides.
Okay.
We're pulling the slides from the internet, so the internet's working for some odd reason. Maybe the YouTube code is not working.
One Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kauffman Foundation.
It's a place where our entrepreneurs can come and connect within the community.
There's a real kind of vibe or a real energy here that's about supporting entrepreneurs.
We have 2 presenters each week, 2 entrepreneurs. They come and tell about their journey. They each have about 6 minutes to present.
You're telling people what you're up to, and you're essentially getting feedback from them.
There's about 15 to 20 minutes of Q&A.
All the questions that they asked us really got us thinking about new ways to think about our business.
It was good just to be able to get that feedback from the rest of the community.
So over the years, we've added more cities. It creates a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
Last question for you, what can we as a community do for you?
The what can we as a community do to help you question is what really coalesces the community around every single presenter.
When somebody applies to present to 1 Million Cups, they're instructed to watch a series of videos through the Kauffman Founder School website.
It's invaluable information for someone who's founding a startup.
I felt better prepared, I felt more confident, and I think a little more focused than I would have been otherwise. And I not watched the videos of the founder schools. It was a great way to prepare.
I really like the educational component of 1 Million Cups because it does create that open forum.
You're going to hear great ideas that will help you start thinking even more about what you want to do with your business.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
The cool thing about 1 Million Cups is that you're amongst other people like yourself. Just hearing someone talk about their startup, it just was magical to think, wow, there's other people out there like myself.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something, it's worth pursuing, it's worth going after it, even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
think that's what's important to think about when you have a startup is every day you get out there and go up and do it. So. And now we're going to hear from Kate with Texoma Bride Guide. They're new to our community. They're not new as people to our community, but they recently started Texoma Bride Guide, and we're going to hear all about it today.
Thank you, Ruth. All right, so let's see.
Should be another tab on Chrome, yeah.
What is this Windows thing?
Top right hand corner, click on present.
It's funny that you think I know the difference between left and right.
Don't I assume basics.
That other right.
Anyway, as Ruth said, my name is Kate Windsor. I built my first website in 1997, and I have spent the last 12 years working professionally with large companies really around the globe in the capacity of a user experience consultant. 5 of that has been independently, so running my own business, things like that. So in January of 2017, I was asked by my brother to run his table at the Hilton Bridal Show. His wife was sick, my parents were at church, and I was kind of like the backup for the backup. So I was like, sure, you know, I will come and stand there and hand out flyers. I don't really know a whole lot about your pricing structure and things like that, but I will meet and greet with brides. And I did, and it was a great opportunity to get a little bit of FaceTime with brides, ask them some questions, and you know, the first one is, how's wedding planning going? And a lot of the brides that I spoke with were so frustrated because they were having trouble finding vendors. So unlike a lot of the wedding businesses that you come across today, the Texoma Bride Guide did not start as I was a bride and I was frustrated. I got married 8 years ago. I grew up here. I knew everybody that was a vendor at my wedding. So the idea was, let's start a vendor directory for the Texoma area. I looked into businesses like The Knot and Wedding Wire. Those are kind of the big vendor directories. And I was like, why aren't Texoma brides turning to these? I later found out that to join The Knot, to join Wedding Wire is prohibitively expensive. It's like $300 a month to be on the last page of results. If you're getting married in Dallas, it's great. If you're getting married in the Texoma area, not gonna happen. So, I did a little bit of research, and this actually is from this year, but top sources for finding vendors, number 1, wedding-related websites, so The Knot and Wedding Wire and things like that. Online searches, Pinterest, wedding shows, expos, Facebook. So this is our mission statement. This is what we ended up with. The Texoma Bride Guide is an influential multimedia marketing platform designed to reach couples in the Texoma area and influence their wedding planning and purchasing behavior. We partner with premier wedding vendors in the area to promote their brands in more ways, through more channels, to more qualified leads and followers to maximize their reach and exposure. Pre-launch. So, this was January of 2017. And as we all know as entrepreneurs, you have to set crazy goals for yourself in order to kind of like fire to get yourself going. So I set the goal to launch the Texoma Bride Guide at Sherman's Arts Fest last year. So that gave me about 8 months to kind of solidify the idea, put up a website, start the social media going, recruit vendors, and really start putting the Texoma Bride Guide out there as a possibility. So since I have spent the last 20 years deep in the digital world, I knew what I was doing, but I have never in my life done anything in print. So that was one of the challenges that I had to overcome, was learning how to put together a print magazine. What I do professionally is not in any way related to design. It's all how things work. So this was definitely a challenge that I had to overcome. So for our launch, we soft launched the website on September 12th, and then we officially launched at Arts Fest on September 16th. And really all we did was we had copies of the magazine. We just had a really simple table with, you know, a canopy over our head, and we were just, you know, it was an awareness campaign. So we gave away a couple of magazines. We were at many different fall festivals around the area. So then in January, we sponsored, produced the Texoma Wedding Expo, which was awesome. We had over 200 brides attend. We had over 40 vendors participate. It was a really great way for us to start spreading our message. And as a result of that, we have, you know, a list of over 200 brides that we connect with on a regular basis. So today, where are we at? Today, we are still heavily recruiting vendors. We are into planning our 3rd issue, which will come out in August. We are growing our email list, increasing our social media engagement, building awareness. We have really 4 main channels. Our website, we do a magazine twice a year. We have our Facebook group, and we have our social media channels. Instagram and Facebook are really where we spend most of our time. When we launched, we had 27 vendors. We added 14 in Q4 2017, 10 more at the beginning of the year, and right now we're at 8. So my math's not very good, so we're almost to 60. And so what's next is to continue to grow the business, to continue recruiting vendors. For our 3rd issue, we're planning a launch party. So it's going to be like a mini bridal show where we bring in vendors and brides and allow them to network in a less traditional way. So we're not planning tables around the room. We're planning more, you know, name tags, I'm a bride, name tags, I'm a florist, meeting and getting to know each other that way. Perfect. And these are photography credits for our slides, in case you're interested.
So now we get to ask you questions. Bring it on. So, what are you finding about launching this in Middle America? Because I happen to believe there's a lot of money on the table in Middle America, that all these big names, and you named some of them, but there's a whole bunch more that call you up as a local business and ask you to pay them between $300 and $800 or $1,200 a month to advertise your business in a community, in a county of 150,000 people. And, you know, after you finish laughing, you try to politely tell them that you know, yes.
So, according to the wedding report, the wedding industry in the Texoma area, so that's Grayson, Fannin, and Cook on the Texas side. And, you know, it's like Bryan and Carter and Love, Johnson, you know, basically all the counties that touch Lake Texoma. It's a $50 million a year industry. Kind of mind-blowing a little bit. However, a lot of what we see around here is that brides can't find a cake baker, so they go to McKinney or they go to Frisco, which is fine. You know, I'm glad that they're supporting small business. But a baker in McKinney is going to charge them a $150 travel fee to go to Durant.
Sure.
I want that money, I want that business to stay here. So ultimately, our goal is to connect brides and vendors. So on our Facebook group, we encourage brides and vendors to talk. We invite whatever vendors we can from our list. You do not have to be a member of the Texoma Bride Guide to participate in the Texoma Wedding Network Facebook group. I just want to have a safe place for everybody to come together. I want brides to say, hey, I'm looking for a hairdresser. Now, as posting as the Texoma Bride Guide, I have a loyalty to my vendors who are paying me for memberships, so I will always promote their business. But other brides and other vendors are more than welcome to say, hey, I also do hair. Hey, I used this vendor for my hair for my wedding. That's one way that we have been able to create interest with some of the other vendors, is so, you know, if their business gets tagged, they get notified. So that's one way we've been able to sort of generate a lot of interest from the vendors. So my brother owns what used to be DD Music. We have now combined into Cadence Studio, kind of combining our powers for the greater good. And I have leaned heavily on his network to get started. So businesses like A1 and the Hilton and a lot of the businesses that he has really good relationships with, that's where we started. So I was able to say, hey, I'm Kate Tarvin Windsor. My brother is David Tarvin of DB Music. We're starting this new thing. Please come join us. And we got a lot of really good traction from that. And when a lot of the smaller vendors see these big names that are with us, that helps with our legitimacy. So, and then ultimately, our goal is to be affordable for the vendors in the area. I'm very, very aware that, you know, these vendors do not have, you know, $5,000 a year marketing budget. So our pricing structure starts at $50 a year, and our most expensive package is $200 a year. And that gets you, you know, regardless of which package you are in, you get a page on our website, and at the very least, our bronze package gets you listed in the vendor directory in the back of the magazine. So the magazine is kind of like, it's a nice to have, it's a physical thing that you can have with you, but it's not the end all be all of the business. Ultimately, we are driving people to the website. We are driving people to our social media channels so that these are a lot cheaper to maintain. You know, the majority of our operating budget goes to printing the magazine, but that's not where the majority of our traffic is going.
Do you have any local competitors, what you're trying to do? Direct, not stuff out of Dallas or anything like that?
No. And what we're really trying to do is we're really trying to encourage our vendors to use us to help spread the word about their events. So we've had 2 vendors, and they're not even gold vendors, but they've had open houses. You know, tell me about your open house. I will use my social media channels, my emails, put it on whatever I can to let brides know that this is what's happening at your venue. That is what I want to be. I want to, it's community over competition. It's let's let everybody know what's available, and I want to do the best that I can to represent the vendors to the brides or grooms.
What are the obstacles you are facing right now?
The struggles are time. You know, I run 2 other businesses in addition to the Texoma Bride Guide, and creating content takes a lot of work. Setting up, you know, we pre-schedule as much of our social media posting as we can, but still monitoring it on a daily basis takes a lot of time. I have recently become addicted to Instagram, so now it's just, I need to focus on work, not troll Instagram for new leads or for things like that, or for new content. You know, we are continuing to get new vendors, so the money part of it is there. I do not personally make any money off of this yet. My time is not paid for, but all of my hard costs are covered, which is nice. So really the struggle is awareness. You know, getting our name out there. Hi, come join us, or hi, please use our resources. They're free for brides because we are supported by our vendor members.
Are you just hoping for natural growth to get on more, you know, just word of mouth, or are you trying to focus more on marketing efforts to, you know, look for people to help fund?
We're not necessarily looking for investors.
Yeah.
We're not big enough. We have the potential to get a little bit bigger, but my expectation is not that this is going to be a standalone business that supports a staff. This is kind of a fun pet project for me. You know, it was an opportunity for me to grow my skills personally. I now know how to publish a magazine. I now know, you know, the difference between print and digital media, things like that. You know, our next big thing might be billboards. You know, it's a fun learning opportunity for me that I can also use on my other businesses, because it helps me grow my understanding of content creation and, you know, product photography and videography and what social strategies work best and things like that. So that ultimately what I am learning is going to help my other clients.
What are your other 2 businesses?
So my main business right now is I am a user experience consultant. So some of my big clients right now are Smith & Nephew, Texas Health Resources, Bell Helicopter. And I partner with agencies in Dallas to basically be their user experience department. I'm trying to quiet that down so that I can grow Cadence Studios. And Cadence Studios is a small business marketing agency here in Sherman.
And you'll be presenting Cadence.
Yeah, so I'll be presenting Cadence in June.
I was just looking at them on Facebook.
Yeah.
So is this a business or a hobby?
It's a business.
Okay.
It makes money. I have to pay taxes on it. And it has, you know, I have an obligation to my vendors who are paying me money. We have a contract that says, you're paying me money, this is what I'm going to do for you. So ultimately, it is a business. It is a, you know, a subset of Cadence Studios. It is something that I want to be known for, something that I want to grow. I want the Texoma Bride Guide to be the place to go when you are planning a wedding in the Texoma area. We are, let's see, next month we will have had our DBA for 1 year. So I'm pretty proud of where we are now. We average over 900 page views per month on our site. We have over 600 Instagram followers. Like I said, we're almost to 60 vendors. We the Facebook group is steadily growing, getting a lot more interaction from both vendors and from brides. So, you know, it's really exciting to watch it grow. It's something that I get out of bed every morning and I am excited to see what's new and what else I can do today.
And are you going to keep it as a hobby, or are you going to try to really grow staff? At some point, you're going to have to spend on this.
Yeah. So, like I said,
It sounds like an ample opportunity. You said $15 or $50 million.
50
$50
million.
That would compel me to make that a real business.
Yes. So right now, I'm in that awkward stage that all entrepreneurs go with, this is my side hustle. Whereas Cadence Studios and House of Windsor are making the money. So this is what I'm up all night doing, but I'm trying to quiet down House of Windsor so that Cadence and Texoma Bride Guide can grow, but House of Windsor is making the money.
Talking about the ultimate goal of the Texoma Bride Guide, I'm dating your brother, by the way, is to transition a lot of those vendors that maybe need help with their marketing and websites and stuff, to kind of transition those vendors in. That's where
There's one business follows the other business.
Yes.
So that's why Cadence Studios, small business marketing, right now our clients are some of our vendors who, you know, we want to show the value in, let us do it. Don't waste your time trying to figure out WordPress or what's my DNS or what's this SSL thing. Let us do that for you. Service your wedding clients or your catering clients or, you know, things like that. Any other questions?
How does somebody get your guide?
So these, the magazines are available at some of our vendors who have physical locations. So A1 has them, Hilton has them, Ginger Snap Studios up in Denison has some. But really they are available at the bridal shows that we did in January. And then in the fall we do like awareness campaigns. So we were at Arts Fest, Denison Fall Festival, the Peanut Festival. The good news is there's a digital version of the magazine available online. So you don't have to have a physical copy. You can look at the version online. And it updates whenever we produce a new magazine. Reduce, reuse, recycle, trying to minimize our footprint.
That's right. So have you tested out very much with influencer marketing?
Not yet. On the flip side, we have one affiliate. So we are affiliated with Generation Tux. And if a couple uses our code and they get 20% off, we get a kickback. So affiliate marketing and influencer marketing are definitely two of our upcoming
That's one of the things I'd like to talk
audiences to definitely pursue. Because it is the way of the world these days. Yeah. And you know, we want to encourage our vendors to also post on our behalf. You know, some of them are really good about tagging us or talking about things. And on the flip side, you know, if one of our vendors, like Lauren Hummert, who actually, this is one of her pictures, she posted a really good article on her blog about why photography costs so much. So I shared that through all of our Facebook channels because it's a really good article and it's by one of our vendors. So I want to be able to share their knowledge with, you know, the greater community as well.
How much presence do you have in Oklahoma? Is it mostly just Grayson County?
It's mostly Grayson County. We have a little bit in Durant. We just got Kirby's Steakhouse at Windstar over on the other side. So, you know, most of my knowledge and time spent is in Sherman. So the majority of our vendors are Sherman, Denison. We are still relatively unknown in Durant and Gainesville and Ardmore, but we are trying to push that way. You know, I want to get on the news, and I want to, you know, not necessarily be like a weekly segment or anything like that, but, you know, maybe quarterly talk about weddings in Texoma or something like that. So we have partnered with the Democrat, the Herald Democrat, to do like a weekly wedding column, but that's kind of, we're still waiting for it to get published. So, I mean, if that happens, that would be fabulous. Just really getting the name out there to get traction from both sides.
I think, Kate, you're gonna, both of you, and you know, actually you know this because it's in all the trades and the thought leadership, but I think you're gonna have to put yourself out there a little more.
Yes.
As, you know, I'm the face behind Texoma Bride Guide. So,
and there are definitely,
and I know that I understand the hesitation because I don't do it either, but you know, I think we have to get out there so that people make that connection. And it's great that you've branded it Texoma Bride Guide because you know you want that to be an entity that can be sellable and be outside of yourself. However, in order to make these connections and keep that exponential growth going, I think both of you are going to have to brand a little bit more with your personal influence and, you know, instead of everyone out there, the famous one that we used to use in BNI is chiropractors that say their clients are anyone with a spine. They're really not. There's really a segment, and you have to narrow in on that now. Where you replicate your success, brand yourself and your personality.
And I've definitely turned away vendors who, you know, there was a photo booth from Waco, and I'm like, you have a great business, but you're gonna charge my bride's money to come up here. I'm sorry.
Right.
So, you know, it's definitely, you know, one of the things that everything that I read preaches is, you know, you have to find your niche,
right? And
you have to focus on your niche. And my niche is not McKinney. My niche is Grayson County to the other side of the lake,
right?
You know, and be very focused on that. I don't want to be all things to everybody. I want to be all things to brides in the Texoma area,
or people that are having weddings.
And
in the Texoma area.
Right, and it's really, we call ourselves a wedding and events vendor directory because if you are, regardless of whether you're throwing a wedding or a retirement party or a 50th anniversary party, you're really going to use mostly the same vendors. There might be a couple that, you know, aren't applicable, but, you know, we have a place where you can go to find a venue and a caterer and someone to do cakes and someone to do centerpieces and things like that.
And is that in all your content? Weddings, I mean, not keyworded in all your content. And you will be doing articles about that as well, blogging about it.
Yeah. But ultimately it comes down to the burden of content creations.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Big time. How do you handle competing vendors? You know, you've got probably half a dozen wedding photographers.
You know, I reached out to a gentleman who owned a limo company, and I was explaining to him, you know, this is what we're doing, we're a vendor directory, and he's like, are there other transportation companies in there? And I'm like, yes, of course, we're a vendor directory. He's like, I don't want anything to do with you, bye. And you know what? That is his prerogative. You know, if he doesn't want to be part of the community, I can't waste my time chasing after him, trying to get him to join. And I'm not going to. So, you know, and I learned this from Lauren, we try to foster community over competition. You know, if the bride contacts you first and you're not available, I really want you to say either go to the Texoma Bride Guide or call this guy, he's a really good guy.
And there's so many community groups, realtors, all kinds of people that need to be able, the ones that are really successful are the ones that are doing that.
Yes, yes.
So
you can't be afraid of your competition. You have to know them, you have to embrace them, you have to appreciate them, and you have to do better than them. So
at your niche.
Yes.
And again, that's where segmentation becomes very, very important.
Yep.
Well, the beautiful thing about photographers, using that example, is every photographer's style is a little different.
Yes.
So you can have 20 photographers, but I'm going to go through and I'm only going to like 2 other styles, kind of thing. So.
And then they have to be available.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So while they're competition for each other, they're still not competition because they're still different. So.
Yep. Any other questions?
What can the community do to help you?
Spread the word. Send brides our way. If you know your niece or granddaughter or your secretary's cousin is getting married, say, hey, Texoma Bride. And a lot of the information that we provide in the magazine and in our guides is global. It's not just specific to the Texoma area. So we add value in that way. One of the things that we emphasize is education over inspiration. I'm not going to say never, but we will never do a styled shoot. We might put vendors together from our directory and say, you guys do a styled shoot and we'll sponsor it. But we're not going to ever post anything about a beautiful Blue Spring wedding. A beautiful, you know, there are so many other resources out there. I will let the Knot handle that. I will let Pinterest handle that. I want a bride to know how to word their invitations, how to address their invitations, what to expect when they're doing their budget. You know, that's one of the things that nobody talks about. Planning a wedding budget is not like planning a vacation budget. I can't go to weddings.com and build a cake and get an idea of what it's going to cost.
True.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, through our connection with the wedding report, we get average spending in the Texoma area. And that's one of our biggest selling features. One of our biggest things that we bring to the table is
giving people an idea. I've seen your post.
Yeah, I want you to know
budget.
what to expect.
Yeah.
This is an average. So if you want a better than average wedding, your flowers are going to cost more than, let's see, flowers. Floral design, on average, they spend $1,800. Average. And, you know, flowers in Sherman are going to be a lot different than flowers in Tishomingo. So take those things into consideration, but just give you an idea of what to expect.
So Kate, we're an entrepreneurial community, and you know, for example, you have a florist here, you have a liquor store here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things I hope you guys will do is become part of this, you know, community and participate, so that we can network and and work together, you know, to get things done.
There's nothing more exciting than walking into a room of people and seeing faces that you know. And the only face that I know in here is my brother. I know Ruth from stalking her on social media, but I've never met Ruth before. But now, you know, I know your faces and I know who you are. So the next time I see you, I might not remember your name, but I will remember this connection. And that's really important.
Thank you so much.
So you're seeking vendors.
Always.
Kevin Wilkinson. If you need some DJs.
Yes. We only have 2.
I'm right over here. I mean, it depends on what kind of music scene you're looking for or whatever. I'm connected all over.
So I want to thank everybody for coming this week to 1 Million Cups Sherman, and we'll see you next week at 8:30. Thank you.